Oh.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, future Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Angel Ortega. Folks, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got UFC 286 coming up this Saturday from the UK, Bellator 292 to go over UFC Las Vegas, as well as a bunch of other news. As always, we're brought to you by two fantastic sponsors, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Rogue Energy, they keep you filled up, going through the day, whether you're going to work, going to the gym, staying at home, playing video games. They're going to get your mind going, get your body going. And you can get 10% off of that with code SOUNDOFF at checkout. Meanwhile, ELYXR, the exact opposite end of the spectrum. You can go ahead and get yourself a nice Delta 8, 9, 10, HHG, whatever you want from them. They got it in gummy form. They got the distillate. They've got vapes. They've got it all, and you can get it for code SOUNDOFF, 10% off. Fantastic sponsor of the show. Big fans of them. Use them myself. Can personally attest that they are some strong shit. So, big fan of them. But it's time to break into the fights, because last Saturday night from the theater at Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas, Nevada, UFC Las Vegas. Not UC Vegas, because that's what all the Apex shows were, and they just really needed the venue to do Power Slap. So we got to see Petr and Merab Dvalishvili at a different venue at the theater at Virgin Hotels. And look, dude, I got to admit, actually, Angel, I was a big fan of this kind of smaller setting. It kind of gave me, I know that you've only gone to like one of their shows, but it kind of gave me like Invicta vibes. It was because like just a smaller like regional promotion. What do you think about that? Because I tweeted out something about this, about how they should kind of mix it up a bit and do shows more like this more often.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I liked it. 'Cause it was nice having like a pretty loud crowd for it being small, you know what I mean? But like, I think it being so compact, it made it seem a lot louder than what it was.
Yeah, same page. But anyways, in the main event, man, we got Merab Dvalishvili dominating Petr. I don't know how many people expected this. I think going into this one, we knew this is somewhat of a possibility that Merab could, apply the pressure, not let his foot off the gas and have some success. I don't think anybody expected the 50-45 Petr, which is exactly what he did. And now Merab's in a position where he might get a title shot next, man. What do you think?
I mean, he's in a good position. The thing is, it doesn't seem like he's going to take that title shot, Josh. To talk about a little bit about the performance, I mean, it was excellent, great, lots of pressure. The leg kicks, I mean, it was fun watching Takedown Simulator, Josh, don't get me wrong. But,
don't say that. He was doing good on the feet, too, though.
Yeah, no, he had his moments, obviously. I mean, once that leg kind of went out, you kind of saw the fight change. And I mean, Petr tried to throw his own, but you kind of saw that once he threw it, he's like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't throw it back.
Yeah.
But, nevertheless, 50-45, I mean, it was just a clean performance. I don't think there's a lot to say out of here outside of Merab's and out of it. He did what he had to do. It was clean. I think the conversation coming out of this is two things. It's, what's going on with Petr? Is it mental? Is this a matchup thing? What happened? And then the other thing is what's going to happen with Merab. And I think, where do you want to start? This is actually a better question. Where do you want to start with these two topics? Because I think that's the main two things we need to talk about.
I think for me, with the Merab situation, there's actually not a whole lot to talk about in my opinion, because it's actually pretty simple. Because they've talked about it before. I don't know, and I said this on Twitter. I don't know why Dana was like bitching about it in the post-fight press conference and other stuff. Like Merab and Aljamain have always said, if they get in a position where they have to fight each other, one of them will just go down or go up. And Aljo has said it'll be him, and that he'll go up to featherweight. And he may even lose to Cejudo because they're fighting in a month. So, I mean, I think it's kind of like a bit early for that conversation. And not even a bit early. I don't think the conversation is worth having because they've already talked about it, and they keep on. And Merab said, he's like, yeah, I just won't fight Aljo. We'll figure something out. So I'm not even that worried. for me, the big takeaway coming out of this fight, not even takeaway, but the thing that it kind of discussed is Petr Yan, 1-4 in his last 5. Now it doesn't feel that way because, one of those losses was a DQ. One of those was, well, actually, technically, 2 of them were split decisions, although I didn't think the Aljo rematch was that, I didn't think he had a claim to win that fight. And even in that stretch, he also beat Corey Sandhagen. So, Angel, what do you think about what could be next for him? What do you think is kind of his, I don't want to say fall from grace, so to speak, because I think Petr Yan is still in a top 5 bantamweight on the planet, but kind of his recent struggles?
Oh man, I don't know. He's still performing good, right? He's still what he had to do. We saw Petr in the Sean O'Malley fight. Like, he's still doing him. And this one was definitely a little, I don't want to say worrisome, because I think it was definitely a matchup thing and maybe a mental thing to accept. But he came in fit as hell. 49 takedowns were attempted, but half of those weren't completed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even close to half. I think he got maybe it was 9, 10?
I think he got 8.
Or 8. It was a low number, and even then
it might have updated since Fight Night, but I'm pretty sure on Fight Night the number was 8. So
there wasn't full control takedowns, anything like that. At least I don't remember. It's been a few days.
Yeah, from what I remember, that was not the case.
Yeah, so. But hey, man, those make you work. Those tire you out, and you be well prepared. I just think the leg getting compromised early, Rob just knowing that at times Petr isn't the fastest starter, was another thing, and he said, I could take advantage of that because my whole thing is just coming forward. I do think though for Marab, that can only work so many times though, Josh. And we even saw it, scaredly enough, in that Marlon Moraes fight. You remember that? He got hurt very quick because he was coming like a demolition.
Out of hell.
Yeah, he was a Terminator. But the thing is, when you do that against a guy who can hit pretty hard and catch you in a counter, you get compromised, and that's the thing. I feel like it could only last so long, At least that style. Granted, he could keep it going. It could work. I could be completely wrong, and that's just me, man. But I think everybody has if you're gonna do that, you can only do it so much, or if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it in how do I put it? It has to be controlled chaos.
Yeah, I agree. To kind of close out this conversation, man, it's just kind of weird. I think the bantamweight division is arguably the best in the sport right now. I think, top to bottom, you got some unranked killers, dude. This weight class is so fucking deep. However, it's just kind of weird, man, the current trajectory of it. I don't think anybody would have expected, go back to March 2021, when Petr Yan fought Aljo. Imagine telling somebody before or even after the fight, oh yeah, Aljo's going to be a respected champion. Petr Yan's going to, go 1-4 in his next 5. It just crazy to me. It really is. I never would have seen it coming in a million years. Like I said,
that one moment changed his career.
Yeah, and you can put a lot of asterisk on. I can't say the fucking word, but you know what I'm saying, Angel. Asterisk. Thank you. I kept on getting caught up on the K. Asterisk. Yeah, but you can put that on his record all you want, but at the same time, the numbers, numbers don't lie. Wins and losses do matter to a certain point, and he's had way more losses than wins lately. So we'll see what happens with him. He will bounce back because he's too good not to, which is kind of the weird part.
Can we look at let me pull this up real quick while we're here together. Who could he fight right now in this division? Because you can match him up against anybody, but I'm trying to think who makes sense, who could be fun, and kind of not an easy fight, competitive, but a good reset. I think it has to be, and it's going to sound, it has to be one of these younger guys on the come up. It has to be one of these Chris Gutierrez, Jonathan Martinez, Adrian Yanez, Ricky Simone, guys who are on a win streak. That's the kind of fight they need to take. And if Adrian Yanez beats if he beats Rob Font, he's fighting Rob Font, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
If Yanez beats Rob Font, and Yanez has some, heat behind him, they could set up Petr Yanez, and especially with the kind of attention Yanez is getting right now, you get that on a pay-per-view, on the main card, maybe. You could do a fight night main event with those two guys. But there's some potential there for that matchup. Obviously, that's thinking that Giannis could beat Rob Font. And like I said, there's other options like Ricky Simone in there, Chris Gutierrez and Jonathan Chase are available. They're really down, but the thing is, as far like Corey Sandhagen's kind of in the same position too. He needs to take a fight down desperately too, just because he's kind of locked out of the title picture right now. Sadly, one of these young guys will probably take on Adama Cruz too. I mean, honestly, a lot of these guys near the end are going to get a big push, Josh. I feel like just in the middle there isn't much. Those matches aren't. They don't have to be moved right now. They're not quick. Like Song Yadong, I don't think he's in need of a quick match right now. A guy above him, he has to fight someone there in the middle as well. Dom Cruz, he needs to fight down pretty far down, I think, because of the people who are available. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. I'm looking at it right now. Petr went down to 4, and obviously Rob is number 1 contender now. Actually, they moved Sean down to 2. Ooh, interesting. Cheeto 3, by the way.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, man.
Rankic just got a little saucy right there with that.
I agree. By the way, I'm fully on board with your Adrian Yanez if he wins against Rob Font. That sounds like a fucking banger.
I feel like if he wins that fight, you should already have that contract just ready, just in case.
Yeah, I mean it's. I know to some people that may sound crazy, but then dude, you got to think about it. Petr Yan, I mean, 4 losses. Adrian Yanez, it's really not that crazy of a conversation, So they need to have. Honestly, that's a great booking right there. I think you gotta get Mick on the line, and
and they're fighting here in a few weeks. He's gonna be on that Adesanya card.
Yeah, man. It's a banger of a card. So they've got a.
He's the 3rd fight on that main from the top, so he's in a perfect position to set himself up, call someone out. It's his time, and let's see if he can shine. I mean, obviously. And I'm kind of talking about him a little ahead and kind of potentially, setting him up. But the fight to make right now, Josh, if he is to win, I think is Giannis Petr. Granted, this is just with a hypothetical, but just putting it out there into the universe.
No, I agree. But dude, I kind of want to shift the conversation a little bit. We spent a while on the main event. Let's kind of go down to the co-main because I did not see this coming whatsoever. Dude, Alexander Volkov and the Battle of Alexanders taking on Alexander Romanov. And Romanov is a guy we had a lot of, hype around, 16-1. That one loss was a majority decision, one to Marcin Tybura in a fight that I thought was a draw. So then he comes in facing Volkov. Dude, he looked like a completely different human being on the scale. And then he goes in there and first takedown stuff, instantly kind of turtles up, knockout loss inside the first round. What the fuck happened to Alexander Romanov?
I don't know. Have we found anything out? Maybe mental issues, lack of discipline. Maybe he thought he could just come in and get away with his wrestling.
Possible, but we have not. I haven't seen anything.
Because look, I think I said this on the podcast. Volkov can wrestle against the cage. The issue is once he gets taken down and he's flat on his back. That's the problem. And granted, that's a heavyweight in general, because getting off your back, and I mean, this goes all weight divisions, right? But Volkov getting off his back is one of the hardest things this is one of the biggest troubles he's had his whole career, is once you get him flat on his back on the ground, it's very unlikely you're going to get him out of that position, he's going to get out of that position. I mean, shit, even in the Derek fight, right? Didn't he end up on his back too at some point? Derek was hitting on him from above too?
Yeah, because he got fucking dropped. He wasn't taken down though.
Yeah, he didn't get taken down, no, but he got dropped, and then Derek ended up on top and kept him there, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, he knocked him the fuck out instantly. Yeah,
he did. Well, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I don't
know.
No,
you're good, G. I'm just letting you know.
Might have to rewatch that one. Now you got me curious, but
that was a 229 card, UFC 229.
That was a while ago, man.
Habib Connor. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that night vividly.
The same card?
Yeah. It's one of those cards. It was UFC 229. It was McGregor Habib, Tony Pettis, Louis Volkov, and then some other fights I can't remember. I think Holly Holm. No, was Holly Holm on there maybe? No, I think I might be thinking about the Cowboy card. But regardless, yeah, that's one of those fight nights I remember pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I just looking for a loop to it. I didn't know that was on that same card.
No, that's what time does to you, man.
But I mean, to kind of give some love to Volkov, I mean, hey man, good job stuffing the takedowns and getting the finish. I mean, I'll always say this about Volkov, Josh. I've always thought he has the potential to potentially win a title. It's just getting it all together. There's moments where there's a little bit of lack of just letting it go. You know what I mean? Because if he lets it go, he looks so good. You know what I mean? We saw it here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, when he's on, he looks great. I wonder if for him it's a purely mental thing or something like that. I'm not bringing a lot of mental into this today, but you know, this is a fight. This is the fight game, man, and there's I mean, fuck, dude, you like we found this out with Cordy Garbrandt like a week ago, where he was saying, you know, I was having, you know, I was selling my house, you know, I was going through a divorce, you know, and all that shit affects you, man, into your day to day. Because at the end of the day, and it's something you don't think about, like shows, like to put it very simply, fighting is a job, just like your regular job.
Yeah.
And if you're having a bad day at home and then you go to work, it's gonna probably affect your work.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the way that I look at it. It's like, if you guys, anybody listening to this, like, you probably, if you're somebody that goes to the gym a lot, you've had bad days at the gym. You'll have, like, a day where you just get there and you're like, man, don't
want to be here.
I don't want to be here. I got no interest in being here. Like, what, like, and that's you. Imagine having to go to the gym, like, 6 days a week. And then you have to fight at the end of it. And there's a possibility that you can just wake up on fight day and be like, well, I'm flat.
It's happened. GSP, Matt Serra.
Yeah, tons of fighters have talked about it. Like, it's a very normal thing. So, yeah, for Volkov, I mean, that win could have been partly mental, you know, with him and Romanov. Maybe Romanov thought he could just go in there and pose his will. And then Volkov went in there with his Legends of the Hidden Temple tattoo on his back, and he just said no. You know, he wasn't going to fold.
I don't know what's next for Volkov, dude. Because, like, you know, he's had wins and losses, but he's on a 2-1 streak right now. He's kind of brought it back together. And I mean, we've seen this cycle before, though. 2 wins here, a loss, a win, a loss, 2 wins again.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about him versus Cyril Gane, part 2? It's been 2-3 years since they fought last, and Cyril's coming off the worst performance of his life.
I don't know. I mean,
it'd be 7 versus 1, but Cyril's probably going to move down.
Could we maybe do a Sergey Spivak instead?
Sergey's fighting Curtis Blades next month.
Oh, they already made that?
Yes, sir.
That was quick. Sergey didn't fight that long ago.
And then Aspinall has verbally, somebody asked him about it because Marcin Tybura called him out. He verbally agreed to face Tybura.
Ooh,
I don't know if UFC will make that fight.
You might hate this one. Tuivasa Volkov?
I don't hate that one. But I want Ty to take a step back.
Ty needs a win, though. And Volkov
Ty needs to take a fucking step back, is what I'm saying, dog.
He does, but I mean, he holds a high ranking, though. Who's gonna be a step back? He already fought.
I don't know, man. I'm saying he needs to fucking take a step back. I mean, his brain is gotten annihilated.
I mean, he might just need to take a layoff, but the thing is, I think Volkov is limited on options. He's not going to fight Aspinall. He already lost that one. Curtis is unavailable. Sergey Pavlovich is just waiting to get his title shot, I'm assuming. And like I said, like you said, Sergon's available, but I don't know if they want to run it back. I think they want Volkov to fight another middle of the pack guy, and then give him that. And I think the only option right now is Ty, which kind of sucks. And it sucks for Ty, but for Volkov, that's good. Right? And it's a good matchup for Volkov. You know?
That fucking sucks for Ty, man. Oh my god, imagine going through all the stuff that he's gone through, like, lately, and now it's like, all right, yeah, you gotta go out there and find this rangy, big motherfucker. You know?
But look, hey man, no, Tai Tuivasa beat Stefan fucking Struve, my guy.
Yeah, but whenever he beat him, that win, he fought Stefan Struve, 6 years past his expiration date, you know what I mean?
He did, but he fought Stefan Struve the way he should have fought Stefan Struve.
He did.
Having that height advantage.
I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit.
And Stefan Struve was still active at the time. It's not like he was taking big breaks. Obviously, he wasn't the most successful. I mean, he caught him at his worst time. And also, Volkov beat Stefan Struve, so there's also that there. They both beat the same guy. Actually, no, he lost the Volkov. Never mind. But, I don't know.
Were you wrong, Angel?
I was wrong. I can be wrong, Josh. I'm human. You know what?
You're human? Yeah.
I wish I was a fucking genius and I could just remember every single fighter's record and results and the way it ended and what time.
Yeah,
and,
you
and
don't
what
got that. You
day.
don't got that sports autism like me, boy. I got.
Oh man.
I remember it all, man.
I mean, Josh, I can name off every NBA champion by year. Just give me
No, Angel, no. Yo, that shit was impressive though.
It was.
I did that for a bit with like Super Bowls and stuff, you know.
Really?
I could, huh?
Really?
Yeah, I can. But
I think I know most of the World Cup ones, or at least like the first few years.
I think you got that sports autism. That's what I keep on calling it, man. Just fucking. I don't remember anything in my normal life. Like I don't remember. My memory is terrible. Then it's like, Josh, what's the stat line for like Matt Castle's 2010 season for the Kansas City Chiefs? And it's like 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,000 yards, and a Pro Bowl nod. You know what I mean? Like I can remember that off the top of the head.
Dude, one thing that I was really good at when I was keeping up, I could name every NBA starting lineup like a few years ago.
I remember this actually.
Like,
I tested you with some shitty teams.
Yeah, no, and I used to be able to. I could probably name like some old starting lineups if you asked me for some teams, or at least most of them.
Angel, tell me the 2017 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh my god,
this one should be easy because they're a championship team.
That was a championship team?
That was I'm thinking
that was 1 year later. That was the fucked up year. That's where they had like Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was 20. I don't know. It was around that time. They had that weird year.
Kevin Love, LeBron.
The old Cavs. Yeah, they had the retirement Cavs, dude. They had D Rose. They had Dwayne Wade.
Dellavedova.
I thought Della was gone by then, but I don't know.
I don't know. He might have still been there. He was there a little bit though.
It was fun times though.
They had that Spanish point guard I can't think of. What was his name? He fucked up Kyrie Irving his first game. I remember Kyrie talking about that. He played for the Raptors at that time. What the fuck was this motherfucker's name? I'm not gonna remember it.
That's so funny.
You know, just because we're it's our podcast and we can choose to take this time to look at this, I'm actually curious. 2017 NBA Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me see how this.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Jose Calderon. Hey man, but I was right.
Jose Calderon, boy. There we go.
Oh man, never mind. I was wrong, Josh. That wasn't the old. They weren't the old. Actually, no, they were. They were. It's just the starting lineup was different. So they had Jordan Clarkson, Jake Crowder, Channing Frye, George Hill. I mean, I remember all these. It's Kyle Korver, Kevin Love, Larry Nance, Chetty Osman, our boy Derrick Rose, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Isaiah Thomas, Tristan Thompson, Dwayne Wade, and Ante Zizic. I do remember this roster very well. Wow, what a time.
I know, right? What a time to be alive.
Well,
anyways, man.
Back to UFC.
Back to UFC. What do you think about some other fights on the card, man? Nikita Krylov, that was main event we talked about a couple weeks ago.
I'm a little disappointed in Ryan Spann, dude. That's just low IQ right there. I'm sorry, you know.
Really?
I mean, Josh, he literally jumps into the guard.
Well, to be fair, I didn't think Nikita Krylov had jits like that. I mean,
Krylov throws up a triangle because and obviously the way he went into it, dude, Josh, helped him a lot. So I mean, that was just poor. It was just a really poor job there. You know what I mean? And
I wouldn't get caught like that.
I mean, I can come over right now, Josh.
Angel, like I said, there's an ongoing joke that I've told Angel since he's been doing jiu-jitsu. Next time I see him, I'm gonna grapple with him. And every single time we do that, he better be submitting me quicker and quicker. So, maybe. But, Angel, I think I got a mean flying triangle that'll take you out. So, I don't know. But,
hey, man, I break legs out here, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Shit.
I'll leg lock you, dude.
Angel, I've been working with my grappling dummy. And...
oh, man, who's your online teacher? Is it Roxanne Manaferi?
Actually, I've been using Gracie University, if you shall know. But
Josh is like, I'm a Henso Gracie student.
I'm a Henso Gracie student? Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Anyways, Nikita Krylov, dude. Outside of the low IQ kind of jumping straight into the triangle. Banger of a fight, though. It was only 3 minutes, but it was a lot of fun. one of the better fights in the card, honestly. These two just went out there and tried to kill each other.
I feel like Ryan Spann is I think I just cut you off there a little bit, but we
You're good.
We talked about Ryan Spann. We had a very particularly good conversation about him back. I think it had been 2020. I can't remember. It was a Sam Alvey fight, I think, or Devin Clark fight, one of the two in 2019. We were discussing like how good is Ryan Spann? Like what is his ceiling? And I think, look, he's capable of beating guys on his best nights, who are kind of outside of the rankings, could be pushing to rankings, maybe middle of the pack. I think Dom Reyes one is just an unfortunate one for Dom. I think we've seen that he's not fully there anymore, like potentially he once was. Kutalaba, obviously, that guy is just a walking tank. But we see that once he's fought the higher echelon competition, the Johnny Walkers, the Anthony Smiths, the Krylov, he's fallen short. He's lost to them all in the first round, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little worrying because Anthony Smith fought for a title and lost to John Jones, and he's good enough to be there. I don't know if Anthony Smith will ever be champion, but I know he can be championship contending. Same with Krylov, same with Johnny Walker, and that's where Ryan Spann's losing to. I'm not speaking bad on those guys because I said I just compliment them all, and I said they're all championship contending, which means that at some point they could potentially reach a title.
They could, yeah. Yeah.
I think we are realizing what Ryan Spann's ceiling is probably is. Look, he's 31 years old. He has time to clean it up. He has time to get better. I just think that, and it's no disrespect to him, I feel like the fight IQ is not fully there at sometimes. I feel like he has this power, but outside of that, what else do you see? We don't see any crazy, strange combinations. We don't see any wild ground game,
mm-hmm.
Or crazy wrestling or stuff like that. I don't think I've ever seen like a game plan. I've never like watched one of his fights and been like, oh, I liked it. He has a game plan going to this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And early on in his career, Josh, he had a lot of submissions. He's catching a lot of guys with his jits. But ever since he's come into the UFC, it's been finishes on the feet, stuff like that. He's losing on the feet too. And right now he just got submitted. Mm-hmm. Whereas before he got to UFC, guillotine finish after guillotine finish, submission, rear naked choke. Where all those old layers at before you come to UFC? I think Ryan Spann needs to put it all together.
You're going hard on him right now.
Yeah, no, but it's just because there's something there. He has talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to see guys succeed, and the reason I'm going a little hard this year is because he's young, he has time, and he lost because of a mistake. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of times we don't do this crazy deep analysis, but I'm I felt like he could have fixed that. And look, I had picked him originally in the week before because I was like, oh man, he's putting it together. This is time. He got that win over Dom Reyes. He had a win over Kutalaba. Like it's go time. It's show time.
Mm-hmm. No, it's I agree. Definitely a guy that whenever he came to the UFC, we had a lot more excitement for. And it feels like there's been times where he'll get going, and I don't even know if it's not. I don't even know if it's exactly like what you're saying, where it's like, what happened to his submissions? What happened to this? What happened to that? I wonder if it's a mental thing, because he keeps on winning fights, but then he'll get up to like this big moment and he'll just, I don't want to say choke, but like if you look at his record, came to the UFC, won the Contender Series. Won a couple of fights in a row. He beat the legend in there, like, Little Nog, beat Devin Clark, our boy. You know how big of a fan we are of Devin Clark here, beat Sam Alvey, friend of the show. And then he gets a big fight against Johnny Walker. That was on an ESPN card. It was like on the main card of, Covington Woodley, which did really big numbers, if I remember correctly. And then he lost by knockout. Beats Misha Cirkunov, gets a main event against Anthony Smith, loses. Wins 2 in a row, including Dom Reyes murdering him. This was supposed to be a main event, ended up being one of the bigger fights on this card, loses again. I wonder if it's a mental thing more than, just him maybe simplifying things or not really using his grappling or whatever it may be. But I don't know. I hope
I want to see the bounce back. I'll put it like that. I want to see the bounce back and see how it comes back next fight.
Yeah, for his sake, I hope he figures it out. So, regardless, man. Also on this card, Jonathan Martinez becoming an upset win over Said Nurmagomedov. A bit surprising there. Mario Bautista defeating Guido Canetti. Unfortunate for the 43-year-old. But, you know, it was a fun fight for all the last, you know. Vitor Petrino defeating Anton Turaj. I don't even know how you pronounce that poor kid's name, but regardless, this one was a banger. Fight of the night. Referee don't give a fuck about deducting points because these two grabbed the fence about 7,000 times. Give me your thoughts on some of those fights that happened on the main card.
No, I mean Jonathan Martinez. I think that was the big one coming out of this card for me because I think I even highlighted it on the pre-show. Or you might have, because this is for one, ranking affecting. These guys are pushing themselves into the position. And obviously, they're, you know, we always mention it. Even if they're not related, the Nurmagomedov name carries, you know, prowess, you know, in the sport. And I think Said was even the favorite, but I'm like, dude, Jonathan Martinez is one bad mamma jamma, in the words of Josh. And after that Cub win, I was like, he's going to be due for a big fight. And he was. He got Said Nurmagomedov. The one thing, and I was like, I thought this was a 1-1 matchup because we had already seen Said lose in the UFC. He had lost outside of the UFC. He didn't look untouchable. But he was on a nice little streak there, man, getting, you know, what was it, like 4 wins in a row with two or three finishes in there. You know, got Cody Stamann, Douglas Da Silva, D'Andrade, who's just a tough out for anybody. And then he beat Sayuk Karkamanov, kind of a hard name to pronounce, but kid has some grappling too. A lot of people didn't think that that guy was going to give him any competition, but he came in hot into the UFC. I remember he came in on short notice and got Trevin Jones in a quick submission, and then picked up like a 6 months later, a win over Ronnie Lawrence, and then they gave him Said, which I was like, oh, that's a decent little jump, but maybe they see something in him. But I mean, like I said earlier when we were talking about the 135 division, I mean, he's due for a big fight. I mean, they're gonna have to give him someone up there, maybe a Song Yadong. I think he even called. Did he call out Don Reyes? I think he called out another legend. I could be wrong, but he called out a fight. He said he's down for another fight here soon. But you know how these guys are; they're always down for another fight. But yeah, no, I mean overall, solid night of fights. Josh, we gotta talk about a kind of a sad. I mean, it's sad and happy. I like to say because it's happy because ending your career and retiring is something that we associate with being sad. But I think it's happy because it means you're at peace. You're done with your work. What your canvas that you have left behind is there. And Rafael Sunsao retiring this fight. Obviously, sad ending because he loses. You know, submission inverted triangle choke. Davey Grant gets to win there. Sick lead up to the finish. In his own right. Davey Grant getting one over the 40-year-old, the Brazilian. Very, very proud of him. And obviously, a nice little bonus for him, I think, for getting the finish, performance of the night. How do you feel about Rafael Sunsao's career, Josh? Now that he announced his retirement, and how do you, like I said there at the start? I mean, it was kind of a happy and sad moment because, you know, he retired, but then he also did lose via finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Look, the reality is that Rafael Sunsao was never UFC champion, and he's one of those guys that whenever you look at all-time bantamweight rankings, you're probably not going to see him pop up too much, but goddamn, he was good. You know, that's the best way I could put it. At one point, he was champ material. It's a damn shame he never got to fight for the belt. I think there were times where he should have fought for the title, where he got really, really close, but they're like, just, you know, why don't you just fight one more contender, Rafael? You know, he probably should have put his foot down, you know, but he didn't. As far as his retirement goes, wish it could have happened with a win, but it is what it is in that regard. Hell of a win for Davey Grant. And obviously, you kind of don't like to see legends go out like this, but I think we kind of knew that Rafael was near the end of his career. I think he bounced back in his last fight against Victor Henry, and nobody expected him to look as good as he did. But yeah, man, just it is what it is. I mean, hell of a career, man. Hell of a career. What do you think about his retirement?
I said sad because he got knocked out, but also happy because he gets to end his career. Like I said, I feel like kind of being like, okay, this is my canvas, and this is it. I'm done with this, and this is where I'll leave behind. This is my legacy. So, and it's a pretty safe legacy, man. Let's be honest. That fucking record, all the names on there, I mean, unforgettable. I mean, he fought the who's who in that division. Kind of to make a nice little transition over, though, to Victor Henry, Tony Gravely. Victor Henry getting one back, man, after his loss to Rafael Assunção. So nice bounce back for him. Split decision. I thought it was a pretty fun fight. Kind of like what he said on the mic. He's like, that Ronnie Barcelos performance was not a fluke. I'm going to come back and show that, that I'm better than my last performance. So I was happy to see him do that against a guy in Tony Gravely who, has a sizable record, just like him, been around and pretty, well established in the UFC at this point. And younger than him too. Like I said, my only gripe with Victor Henry is he's a little older. He has to, get the ball rolling. He has to rack up those wins because he's 35, man. And at 135, once that age catches up to you, and once you slow down a little bit, this division is full of young guns, man. It's the hardest division in the planet, in my opinion, because there's so much talent out there. There's always one kid behind you chasing you to get your spot.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, man, in terms of the rest of the card, prelims were pretty fun. I mean, I mentioned Victor Henry a couple of minutes ago when talking about Rafael Assunção. I picked up a nice winner, Tony Gravely. My girl, Ariana Lipsy, she looked good on the feet, defeating JJ Aldridge. Solid performance by her. Tyson Nam coming up short. Carlson Harris picking up a win over Jared Gordon. And then also Josh Frumd defeating Sodrikas Dumas, who kind of an interesting guy. I don't know if that's the way I want to put it, but people were kind of downing on him for the last week or two because he went off on like a media guy who asked him for an interview and told him to pay, and then also apparently he has a couple of domestic violence things. So those are definitely the guys you want to get off the Contender Series. You can't. Chris Curtis had to go fight for an additional like 5 extra years, but fucking, you know what I mean? But anyways, that was Sodrikas Dumas' debut, and he came up short. So. Anyways, man, this is a fun card, and it perfectly sets the stage for this Saturday night. Because this Saturday, Angel, at the O2 Arena in London, England, UFC 286, Rocky is getting his homecoming. Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, the trilogy. Obviously, they fought back December 2015, Kamaru Usman, when they were both prospects, and Kamaru picked up the win. Then they fought last August for the welterweight title. And Leon had a bit of early success, but as the story goes, heading into the 5th round, he was down in the cards. He needed a big moment. He needed a big shot, and he got it. He landed the head kick, pull off the upset win. Wasn't an upset to me. I called it, but no, I'm joking. But anyway, so yeah, Leon, big win, and ultimately now they're going to rerun it tomorrow, going into going into enemy territory, so to speak. What do you think about this one, man? It's a very interesting fight. Very excited for it. Do you think lightning will strike twice? Or do you think Kamaru and new?
Man, this is a crazy one. Because we saw in that Leon fight, look, first round, crazy first round, Josh. Takes Kamaru's back, throws up a submission, wild. But then after that, what seemed like 4 rounds of just Kamaru Usman until in the 5th round. Leon had been setting up that kick, catches Kamaru Usman with it, and boom, lights out, like you laid out right there. The thing is, we're now in London. Pressure is on. Kamaru's come back. Can he recreate most of what he did that night before? I think he can, I mean, it was one moment. I'd say there was 2 moments of weakness, obviously, the take and the sub attempt by Leon. It was the other big moment of the fight, outside of the finish, obviously. Mm-hmm. But Kamaru, for most of that, he was doing his thing. He was dominant. It looked futile. I mean, you remember we were there with the boys, Josh, watching that fight. We were all kind of sitting. We're like, damn, he's just gonna do it again.
Just is what it is.
And we were kind of down. We were all kind of getting ready to leave, and that 5th round kind of got our shit together. You remember everybody putting their stuff in their pockets, and then boom, out of nowhere, head kick. Like, oh, everybody reacts.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think Leon could recreate it. His striking's on point. He has some of the cleanest combinations, some of the best stand up in this division in all the UFC right now. But I mean, Kamaru wasn't that far from getting it, man. I think Kamaru's gonna be able to do it. He's gonna be able to recreate what he did on that night for the most part, and what he did in his previous fight the first time around. Let's see it. I'm gonna pick the Nigerian Nightmare to get his title back in London, England, in the O2 Arena.
Dang. Well, there you go, man. There you go. Look,
man, you sounded a little pressed there.
I'm a little bit disappointed because here's the thing. We've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately. We've got a lot of more attention because we've been doing more promotional stuff, and we've just been killing it lately. It's kind of what I want to put it like. However, if you've not been listening to the show for a while, you may not know, but I've been like the biggest Leon supporter since day one. I'm talking about like since he fought when he fought like Peter Sabata, like on the undercard of fucking like a random UK card. Like I've been a fan of Leon for a while, so I've been telling you, Angel, I'm telling you, he's a future champ. He's got the striking, he's got the mindset. He just needs to put it all together. I think he put it all together last August. I think he knows. I feel like my biggest issue, Leon's biggest issue with himself, he did not believe. He didn't believe in himself, Angel. Now he doesn't just have to believe, he knows how fucking good he is. And Angel, I gotta, my head. Oh God. Angel, I think Leon Edwards is gonna go out there and do it again. That's my prediction. I'm gonna take Leon Edwards, and still, he's gonna have. You guys keep on saying it's a rocky moment, it's a fluke. He's gonna go out there and do it again, possibly even by finish, because he's that guy.
This Rocky story was ass backwards, man. Rocky won the second fight by KO, but it really should have been the split for Kamaru. Kamaru was the Apollo Creed.
Oh shit. Oh no. Yeah, man. It's jokes aside. This is a hell of a fight.
Unless Kamaru comes out here like Clubber Lang.
Shit, maybe. I mean, I will say this: I'm very excited for this fight, and as big of a fan I am of Leon. I really.
There's gonna be a banger, Josh. Idea. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. I think this is one of the best storylines we've had into a title fight in a while. You know what I mean? Or in recent memory. Because, kind of think back to, I'd say before this, Bahia Adesanya. But before that, I really don't know what other good like Oliveira, Makhachev, it was good. But these guys have a very long history at this point. Yeah. When did their first fight take originally? 2016? Something like that?
December of 2015. On the undercard of, I believe, RDA versus Cowboy. Remember that fight?
This is years in the making. This is a trilogy fight now.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards are making history, and they're going to have a trilogy fight. That's the other crazy thing about this. It's 1-1 right now. Who's going to be 2-1 up in the series? The records are almost identical, Josh. 20-3, 20-2. It's wild. The what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't think I'll be able to get it out, but just the duality,
Yeah.
The difference, they're both come from migrant families, one Nigerian, one Jamaican, one in England, one in the U.S. There's just, it's so deep. There's so many layers. It just makes you fucking excited, Josh. It just makes me want to punch a hole through this fucking wall next to me.
All right, well, maybe we shouldn't do that much.
I've actually already, put 7 holes in this wall, Josh, believe it or not.
Angel, don't worry. I'm well aware. No, I am psyched for this fight, though, man. I'm really psyched for this fight. It's look, man, the month of March, it's all big fights. That's what I will say. It's been. I'm fucking fired up right now, man.
It's DTF, Josh. Down to fight.
Because think about this. Okay, we got the fight this weekend. Then we got Cheeto and Sanhagen, and then we got Bahia Adesanya too.
Let's go!
With Gilbert Burns, Masvidal, Rob Font, Adrian Yanez, Kevin Holland, Santiago Ponzinibbio, all those names that we talked about even earlier, right?
By the way, we had cameras right
and then we got UFC KC, which we will be in attendance for, my son.
Live. We'll even do a show live there.
I think we should pull out the phone and do a Big Three-esque. Like, I was pulling out the phone of the Big Three, just like, Angel, what do you think?
we might have to, just for shits and giggles, just for a little throwback there.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I gotta bring the Max hat, dude, for my signed Max Holloway height right up there. I've had it for years, dude. Ever since we see that DJ card, gotta bring it with me.
Nice. But, yeah, man, I think it's about time to move on from the main event because we've kind of given our thoughts there. Co-main event, though, also a banger. Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev, the two lightweights, gonna go head-to-head, man. Very excited for this one. Two strikers. They're giving the fans what they want with this matchup. What do you think about it?
Oh, man, Josh, I think Fiziev's gonna win this, Josh. I really, Justin's just gonna feed into his game. Rafael's game is stand-up. This guy's a Muay Thai specialist. This guy is one of the head trainers at Tiger Muay Thai too, which is just, the guy's the fucking teacher there, dude. Like,
damn, yeah.
He's actually, I'm looking at it right now. He's the striking coach at Tiger Muay Thai.
Damn.
What else do you need to know outside of that? I mean,
that just shows you how fucking good he is, Andrew.
And I think I think Justin Gaethje is going to feed into his game. I mean, if Justin actually mixes in takedowns, makes his game super wide. Granted, RDA tried to do the same thing. RDA wasn't able to do it fully, but RDA is older. Justin is younger. Guy has a fucking chin. But against Fiziev, dude, look, Justin's a good boxer, but Fiziev is a great striker. Yeah. I think that's what's going to separate this fight. And I think Fiziev's going to get this win. I think this is actually a great matchup for Rafael Fiziev. If Justin Gaethje can't get his takedowns, can't put Rafael Fiziev flat on his back, and look, even if he does, we'll see if Fiziev can get up. That's another layer to the game we need to see.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I got a Rafael Fiziev.
Yeah, same here. I think the biggest thing for me is I think the speed's gonna really fuck with Gaethje.
Dude, Fiziev is fucking fast. I think I even said that last time too.
Yeah, he is ridiculously quick. So I honestly think that's probably gonna be the biggest issue for him. Because I'm also taking Rafael Fiziev.
I mean, yeah. And look, and he's gonna check. I don't think Justin's leg kicks are gonna be as effective as they are on other fighters. This guy's, with that Muay Thai stance, he's gonna be checking all those kicks. He's chilling. That's what I'm saying. I just think he neutralizes things that Justin does well, because that's just Fiziev. It's a styles make fight, Josh, and this is a style that I think for Justin doesn't benefit.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think Justin might even get finished on the feet.
Oh, really? That's how strongly you feel?
Yeah, I do. And we've seen it before. It's happened. Dustin, Eddie. It wouldn't be the first time. It's been years.
Yeah.
Also,
same here.
Justin's taken a lot of damage over his career, Josh. I wonder when it's going to catch up to him.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna. I think it's probably already catching up with him. If we're being completely honest. Obviously, he didn't get knocked out in his last fight. But then he did get dropped by Oliveira. He got dropped really hard by Oliveira, and he got dropped early.
Chandler was the hardest anybody ever hit him.
Yeah, Chandler dropped him. Obviously, it took a while, and then he got but before that, he hadn't been rocked in a while. So I don't know. But I do think Rafael Fiziev is going to go out there and get a big win, possibly even a finish. So I'm in agreement with you there. On the main card, interesting one. I'm actually a big fan of this fight just because, it's a clash of styles. This is UFC 1-esque clash of styles. That's how different these two guys are. Brian Barberena, turning into with a fun brawler at welterweight, man. There have been guys in this position over time, and he's killing it right now. Bam Bam is. Coming off a loss to RDA back in December. Prior to that, he had won 3 in a row, including Robbie Lawler and Matt Brown. Taking on Gunnar Nelson, who, I believe it was last year. Yeah, March 2022. He returned to action after a 3-year layoff, picked up a win over Takashi Soto. This is his second fight since that long layoff. What do you think, man?
It's a fun fight. It's a hard fight still. Brian is coming in on short notice. The original opponent was, let me look, D-Rod, which that was a hard fucking fight too. I'd say not similar styles, but similar in the aspect of its striker matchup,
Mm-hmm.
This it just depends. I mean, if Gunnar can get him on the ground, get his jits going, and throw up some submissions, maybe. On the feet, though, Brian is a fucking come forward, do it all, let there be blood. You know what I mean? Guys
just a hammer,
I mean, that guy's, it's kind of, he's a Viking. It's kind of gladiatorial, But
goddamn right he is.
In his UFC career, though, only submitted once, though. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go, I'll go Brian Barberena. It is on short notice, but I'm gonna go Brian Barberena.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Brian will have success in this one. I think one of the big things you got to remember right now is that Gunnar Nelson's a very small welterweight. His grappling is incredible. However, he's been able to, I don't want to say be muscled around by certain welterweights, but he's pretty much a lightweight fighting a welterweight. So he's been able to. There have been guys that had he put on like a little bit of muscle, and a little bit of size, he would have been able to go ahead and deal with it better. And Brian's a big guy for welterweight, so I'm still going to take Gunnar Nelson. I think just stylistically, he'll be able to maybe not hold down Brian Barberena, but I think he'll be able to have enough success, especially in clinch and grappling situations, to pull off the win there. Excuse me. A flyweight fight that I'm super excited for, women's flyweight, also on the main card, the undefeated Casey O'Neill. We have not seen her since her win over Roxanne Modafferi, friend of the show, February 2022. So over a year, and she's been taking on Jennifer Maia, kind of like one of the gatekeepers in this women's flyweight division. Coming off a win over Marina Moroz last November. Prior to that, she lost 2 in a row. She kind of, her entire UFC career, won, lost 2 in a row. Some stuff like that. Go back and forth. Jennifer Maia has in terms of wins and losses in her UFC career. What do you think about this one?
I'm excited, man. I'm happy to see Casey O'Neill back. Obviously, she had surgery, I think, is what they're later. I don't know where. And she had a pretty long recovery. I think she's even coming back a little bit earlier than what she had been predicted to come back to by her, whoever had done, doctor or whatever. And, I mean, when we talk young prospects who have a high skill ceiling and are on the come up, Casey O'Neill is one of them, man. She is very well rounded for being so young. I mean, she's 25 years old. And she has the full package. She can strike. She can compete on the ground. She is a multi-dimensional fighter, which a lot of times when you see a young fighter, there's one aspect of their game that stands out. For Casey O'Neill, I think all aspects of her game stand out. I think her jiu-jitsu is good. I think her strike is good as well. Against Jennifer Maia here, though, I think she's going to look great. I think she's going to sauce her up on the stand-up, and if it ends up on the ground, Casey O'Neill has no problems being on the ground. I'm going to go Casey O'Neill, get her that nice 10-0. Move her up the rankings.
Same here. I think she's going to go out there and get a big win, man. This is a statement fight for her. They put her on this card for a reason. They know it's a big one. And I think she's going to go out there and pick up a big win. So I'm going to go and take Casey O'Neill, get that perfect, nice 10-0 at UFC 286. So, yeah, opening up the main card, though, middleweight banger, Marvin Vettori, the Italian stallion, the Italian dream, been out of action since his loss to Robert Whittaker in UFC France, taking on the rising Roman Didelise. Man, this guy beat Jack Hermanson, beat Phil Hawes, beat Kyle Dukakis, beat JP Vice somewhere in there too, probably. Hell of a winning streak for him right now. And but there's a big step up, though. Marvin's a big step up. So what do you think about this one?
This is a great matchmaking here, Josh. I think I had called this fight even before it was made. I said that this was the fight to make for, I think Roman at the time, for who was available. I don't know. I could be wrong there. I mean, I'll take credit anyways, though, Josh, because why the fuck not?
There you go, yeah.
But Marvin Vettori, I mean, who can I compare him to in another weight class? I mean, he's just, I'm trying to think who's a great example of him, but he's just a tough out for anybody. I think he's kind of not similar, but the same, but kind of the Dustin Poirier of this division in a way. Maybe that's not perfect, but I think it's just good in all aspects, strong, very athletic, can grapple, can strike, comes forward, pretty good cardio. Falls a little, fell short at the title. And Roman's just on. He's coming up, man. He's coming up hot. I mean, 12-1, strong, has some fucking power too. Can get finishes in the ground as well. I think Roman Dolidze is going to get this one, Josh. I think Marvin Vettori is going to catch this loss here from Roman Dolidze, and I think Roman Dolidze is going to cement himself as a top contender in the 185 division and chasing this title.
I agree, man. I agree. I think Roman's an interesting guy right now, man. He's a very interesting guy. And for Marvin, I think part of the reason why I've always, I don't know, I've always just been kind of a fan of Marvin. He's a funny guy, man. He's an interesting guy. Kind of,
he's a character.
He's a character. That's the way to put it. But I think it's a really rough matchup for him, man. I was so fucking impressed with Roman's last win. God damn, the way he butchered Jack Hermanson. We've never seen anybody go out there and do what they, and that's, you gotta remember too, dude. Think about Jack Hermanson's fight before Roman did these. Do you remember what it was?
That was, That was Chris Curtis. That was where he looked fucking great.
Where he looked stunning on the feet. Chris couldn't even touch him.
Granted, no, short notice for Chris too.
Yeah, too. Yeah, so there you go. Fair enough. But still, regardless, crazy. But anyways, man, I'm also going to take Roman. But yeah, it should be a hell of a main card. As far as the undercard goes, which fights are you most looking forward to? I know that your boy Muhammad Makayev's on here. Juliana Killer Miller is back from Tough. There's a couple of good fights on here, man.
I mean, you talk about Muhammad Makayev, Josh, not a ranked opponent. Actually, first time making his official UFC debut. Rafael Filho, a Brazilian fighter, won on the Contender Series. Muhammad Makayev wanted to fight so bad, and I guess no ranked opponent wanted to fight Muhammad Makayev in the amount of time, because Muhammad Makayev was dealing with an injury. So that's another thing. So he's like, fuck it. I'll put my ranking on the line. And takes this fight. Fucking game of shit. One of my favorite young guys in all of the UFC right now. One of my number one prospects. Future champ, I think. I mean, I love praising this kid because he's just so talented, and I just like him a lot. Jack Shore, Josh, 145, Mach 1 Americani. Is this a weight change for Jack Shore, or is this just temporary just because he wanted to make this fight happen?
Well, I mean, I know that he's fought at featherweight. I think he even began his UFC career at featherweight, possibly. But regardless, I think this is a temporary thing, from my understanding.
I was curious. So. I was going to look into it. I don't know, but fun matchup there. I know Jack Shore, he lost his last fight. I think that was, he fell short against Ricky Simone. Rough man, losing your O after having him for such a long time, a perfect 15-0. And I think I had even picked him at the time to win his fight. But let's see how he bounces back, you know. Let's see how he recovers from having that loss. Or is it coming up weight class 2 at 145, and a guy with Mach 1 Americani who is, he sticks around, man, and he's in this division. He's gonna keep trucking along and trying to get those wins. Coming off the loss, though, it's a very good and young talented Jonathan Pierce, who he got a big shot recently too.
Did. Yeah, Mach 1 Americani, a guy that's interesting because I never would have expected him in like a million years. Like, there are guys who I kind of brought this up when I was talking about Devin Clark, like if you guys saw the clip on our YouTube channel when we were talking about it. Like, Mach 1 Americani is a guy you don't think you don't think of him as like when he came to the UFC, he'll be around for a long time, but dude, he's been in the UFC for almost 10 years now. Like, he got signed fucking in 2014. So, there you go, man. And I did not expect him to be around. If you would have told me in 2014, hey, Mach 1 Americani is going to still be doing the damn thing in the UFC, like, definitely not expecting it. So, yeah. But, anyways.
Guys at Giga Chad, Josh, what do you expect?
Oh, well, that's completely fair. But anyways, man, yeah, that should be a fun fight. Also on the undercard, as I mentioned, your boy Muhammad Makayev, I got to go and shout him out too, man. This kid really is, he's a elite prospect. I mean, 23-0 as an amateur, 9-0 as a pro, and it says a lot to me because I remember his last fight took place against Malcolm Gordon, and there were people being like, man, like he struggled a bit with Malcolm Gordon, you know, because he didn't really struggle, but like Malcolm Gordon won a round, you know, like. Still ended up getting finished, but it just kind of shows the high expectations that people have for him. So.
That's how it is. And it came from the desk, too. You remember that? The commentary was on his ass.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, you can go back and replay that for anybody who maybe didn't watch that fight or didn't catch it. Definitely go back and listen to that fight commentary. They were on him about that. They were, yeah. I mean, they gave him credit. They gave him his due at the end. But it only came after the win, though. after it ended in a finish.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. But regardless, I am pretty excited for his return. Other fights on the card, just a couple of quick ones to go over. Lerone Murphy, Gabriel Santos should be a banger. Pretty excited about that one. Christian Duncan taking on Dusko Trotovic. Should be a lot of fun. Malcolm Gordon, the aforementioned, who's actually a pretty good, maybe not ranked guy, but top 15-ish gatekeeper. Gatekeeper of the top 15 to the actual ranked guys. Taking on Jake Hadley. Jake Hadley, another young prospect. If he can go ahead and pick up a win here, maybe he will be ranked. We'll see. Joanna Wood taking on Luana Carolina. Jai Herbert, Ludwig Klein. Dude, the fact that fight is so far down on the card.
A little low, yeah.
Yeah. And then, as you said in the green room, Juliana Killer Miller, who we're a big fan of, coming off a tough, taking on Veronica Machado. This is actually a very good fight, but it does have to take place as the first fight of the card because they got to get Dan Hardy's ass out of there real quick. So, there you go. Any closing thoughts on this card, man?
No, I mean, absolute banger. It's a little bit early for us since it's England, but doesn't matter, man. We'll be there and be square.
Yep. Definitely. So, yeah, man, we do got to go ahead and, we did go over UFC stuff, but we do also got to go ahead and just double back and talk about Bellator 292, which happened Friday night, San Jose, California, SAP Center. And Usman Nurmagomedov pretty much doing what most people thought, going out there and defeating Benson Henderson. I thought maybe Benson would be able to win a couple of exchanges, have some moments. Instead, dude, Usman Nurmagomedov leveled up, going out there, knocking Benson down, and then submitting him in the first. The win was not that surprising. However, Benson Henderson, post-fight, retiring in the center of the cage, one of the all-time great lightweights, hanging it up. First of all, give me your thoughts on the win, and also give me your thoughts on Benson Henderson, an all-time great, hanging it up.
I think for Umar, I mean, this is kind of the expectation we kind of have for him. He's champ. You got to defend your title in the best way possible, and this is a statement win. But it's not going to come easy, regardless of your legacy, your name, or how much time you've been in the sport. Mm-hmm. And you asked me about Benson as well, his retirement, right?
Yeah, correct. Well, kind of your thoughts on and what it is for a figure like that to walk away.
Heartbreaking, man, but like I said, he's leaving on his own terms. He had told himself, hey, in this 4 fights, if I lose, I'm going to retire. And it's crazy, Josh, that going into that fight against that, 22-1 Russian, that was the thing against Mamedov, 20-1 at the time. That if he lost that fight, he could have retired after that. But he ended up winning via position. And then he got a win over Peter Quilley. He could have potentially retired after both of those fights. Instead, he makes it to his third fight for the belt. Doesn't get it, sadly, and retires in the center of the cage. Man, I got to respect it. Left on his own terms. He gave himself a proper timeline. Ends his career in Bellator 7-7, 11-3 in the UFC, 5-1 in WEC. Beautiful career, man. One of the greatest chins in all of MMA. God, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, this guy has a fucking chin, dude. Like, I never really thought about it, but he had one of the best chins ever.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's an all-time. It's kind of weird to think about because he was only in the UFC for 4 or 5 years. He had a longer Bellator run than he did UFC run. I don't really think about that being the case, but it is. Yeah, he's an all-time great and an all-time great chin, which partially made the fact that he got knocked down by Usman so shocking. So, yeah, man. But, it is what it is. Like I said, some newer fans may not be aware of him. They may not know kind of the history of Benson, but god damn, he's a bad motherfucker, man. He was a really bad motherfucker in his prime. I mean, the way that he went through Nate Diaz, if you guys never watched that fight, that was a title. People don't even know that Nate fought for a title at one point.
He did.
Yeah, but he got fucking 50-43'd because Benson Henderson just beat the shit out of him. His first fight with Frankie was really entertaining. The way he shut down Clay Guida to get the title shot, entertaining. I mean, he has a lot of great performances throughout his career, man. His solid winning streak, he won those 4 fights in a row to get that fight against Michael Chandler, the rematch. His first fight with Chandler was a banger. I mean, an all-time great. So thank you, Benson Henderson, for everything. And as far as Usman goes, destructive force. I mean, that kid is inevitable. But we do got to go ahead and say, in the co-main event. Dude, Alexander Shabliy I knew he was good going into this. Don't get me wrong. Like, I hyped up the Grand Prix a while ago on the show. Just bangers all around. Great dudes. However, god damn, dude, this dude is way better than I thought. What do you think?
I said it, Josh. I told you, I was like, he has not met the level of competition he needs to be fighting yet. And this is opportunity. Obviously, he got it in Brent premised a little bit. But against Freak Messiah, we saw it. It ended up being a weird finish, though, didn't it? Because it looked like he hit the cup right or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It was odd in that sense. But hey, man, he got it done, though. I mean, that's all that matters. He's moving on.
I know, and he's moving on, and who's he gonna fight next? I cannot. Do we have like the bracket?
Let's see.
Let me see if I can find it real quickly. Because there's more fights coming up pretty soon.
Okay, I got it right here, Josh. His next matchup is either Patricky or AJ, which, holy shit.
Oh, man. When are they fighting? I can't remember.
To be determined from what I see on the picture I'm looking at, because they got Primus and Barnaby scheduled for May 12th.
Interesting. Yeah, man, interesting. So, going to be a really fun fight, man. Going to be a really fun fight. And
but the real story, Josh, is the next fight.
What's the next fight?
Linton Vassell getting to finish for Valentin.
Oh, there we go.
I hyped up Linton Vassell before this. Remember, I was like, look, he's making that weight change. Sometimes these guys, when they get older, they find a little success, you know. And fuck, man, he's going to get his opportunity at the belt again against Ryan Bader. Like, that's actually hype as shit.
Dude, the Linton Vassell story right now is the best one going into MMA that nobody's talking about. Like, I've had this feeling for a while now, but like, dude, you have a guy who,
I mean, look at the names.
I mean, well, let's just go 39 years old, a Bellator guy who was always good, but he was never great. I mean, he fought Emmanuel Newton for the title way back in the day, and he lost to him.
Shout out.
He fought King Mo in the one of the tournaments, the one-night tournament way back in the day, Bellator 142, which I think
Dynamite.
was also Dynamite. There you go, baby. It was their first kickboxing show. T. Ortiz in the main event.
Let's
and
go,
fun
champ.
fact, super fun fact for you. There was somebody on the undercard of that who's like a really big name now, but I can't remember who it was. It was I can't think of who it is. But anyways, regardless, yeah, Bellator 142 way back in the day.
Was it a kickboxer or was it a fighter? Who was it?
I can just pull up the card right now, actually.
Liam McGeary on here?
Yeah, Liam McGeary. He's a guy. I always thought he was going to be a lot better than he kind of ended up being. Mike Malott.
Oh shit!
Mike Malott was one of the earliest fights. He was the second fight on this card.
Yo, what the fuck?
One fight after Francis Carmont, who ended up going into the main event. And that fight, I just realized that was his last fight. God damn, dude. Francis Carmont for real got knocked out by fucking Davis. Damn. Anyways, yeah, Linton Vassell. I mean, let's run it down, dude. Guy that was always good, but not great. 39 years old. Just says, fuck it. I'm just going to move up to a different weight class. He does. Gets knocked out. Not knocked out, excuse me. Loses in his first ever fight in the weight class. Lost to Valentin Moldavsky. And then he fights Sergey Karatanov, a fucking beast. I'm assuming Bellator thought he's going to get run through. Knocks him out. Ronnie Marks, who, not a great guy, but he's been everywhere. UFC, PFL, Bellator, all that stuff. Knocks him out. Faces Tyrell Fortune, who at one point was a legitimate Bellator prospect. Beats him by decision. Faces Tim Johnson. Knocks him out. And then faces Valentin Moldavsky, the guy that he lost to in his heavyweight debut. And he knocks him out. So now it's going to be Linton Vassell, 39 years old, taking on Ryan Bader in a rematch of a fight that they had way back in, it was all the way back in November of 2017. And I think that fight even happened at Penn State. So there you go, fun fact. Yeah, man. What do you think about Ryan Bader and Linton Vassell running that fight back?
Look, I think it's the best time to do it. I mean, they need to do it. It has to be the next fight. There's no other option.
Yeah, I don't even know who else they'd give it to.
I mean, I think he has a longer win streak right now, actively at a heavyweight than Ryan Bader too, doesn't he?
I don't think that's factual because I don't think he's ever lost. I don't think Ryan Bader's ever lost at heavyweight. So
Really? Well, at the moment, I'm talking about active, because he has.
yeah.
Obviously not a heavyweight, but
I see your point. Yeah, man, I'm psyched for this fight. I don't know who else they could even give it to.
It's not even close. There's no competition.
There is no competition whatsoever. So
he's looking out of the contenders.
Yeah, I mean, I ran it down a minute ago, man. Like he even debuted with a loss, which is the crazy part, Like he debuted at heavyweight with a loss to Moldavsky, and they probably threw Sergey Karatanov at him, thinking like, all right, let's get Sergey a big win, and then we just worked him into a big fight, and instead he won, and he has not lost since. So shout out to Linton Vassell, man, what a fucking beast, dude. Michael Venom Page was a destructive man. We got to talk about that too. Which one down on the main card? These two.
Josh.
Go ahead. Take it away. It's your boy Goichi, So.
Josh, but it's MVP, Josh. Are we surprised? This guy fucking hurts people, dude.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
God, that's what is it? That Cyborg Santos win will always live.
The flying knee
will always live rent free in anybody's head who ever watched that.
I remember watching that fight live too. That shit was on tape delay. So Bellator used to do tape delay back in the day, and so I knew that MVP won by knockout.
But you didn't know how.
I had no idea how, and so I watched the fight, and he fucking throws the ball, and because at that point we kind of knew that what's his name got really fucked up. So Cyborg got really fucked up. So we're just watching him celebrate.
You know something? That was one of the biggest highlights outside of the Conor win that blew up the internet for a very long time. That I remember early on when I was getting into MMA, because that was back in 2016, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing the MVP had all these crazy fucking celebrations, but I remember that one popping up all the time, and even people who didn't watch weren't necessarily big fans of the sport. And obviously, if you're not super into the sport, you're probably not watching Bellator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a pretty fair thing to say.
Yeah, and especially at that time. So, yeah, I remember seeing that highlight a lot. And another highlight. Do we know the official injury for Goichi or what happened?
Not as of now, I don't think.
I heard people were he broke his fucking, always something crazy.
His kneecap, yeah.
It did look fucked.
Oh, it definitely was fucked. I just don't know what exactly happened.
Yeah, we don't know it for a fact yet. Man, MVP back though, Josh. I remember I was he's coming off 2 losses and he needs to get one back, and he got a great one back.
Oh yeah, man, he got a great one, all right. So yeah, big win by him. Love to see it. Not the injury, but the win. As far as the rest of the card goes, man, what are some of those undercard fights you want to talk about?
Man, Josh, we gotta highlight our boy Yags getting a win over Julius and Gleekis. Gleekis has kind of been on the down, a little bit of a downtrend right now.
He has been, yeah. I did not see that coming.
It's a little rough, man. 3 losses in a row. Granted, though, we got to look at the competition. Nadim Nemkov, Phil Davis, and Yags. It's murderers row.
Just a couple of fucking savages.
No shame in that. He's 31 years young. He has a lot of time, but that is rough though. 3 losses. You never know. But for Yags, bounce back, coming back after having a rough debut against Corey Anderson, a banger of a fight with Carl Brexton, which I need to go back and rewatch that one. And then finally finally in 2022, half out of Carvalho. This year, Julius and Gleekis. I hope to see a big year for Yags. You know something I just thought about? What the fuck? How wild has you seen Corey Anderson?
It has been a while.
It was
yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? Him versus Corey Anderson?
But they already fought once. At some point they'll run it back.
Fair enough. I got a little bit too excited. I'm riding the Yags hype train still, Angel.
Dude, we were big fans of Jags, and we didn't know jack shit about him. We had done some research. We were he might actually beat Corey.
He might actually do it, and then turned out to be he was not nearly as good as we thought he was, but he's still as fun as we think he is. So there you go. Yeah, man. I mean, that was a big win. Not a whole lot to say really about the undercard. I mean, Enrique Barzolo picked up a win. You know, Josh Hill picked up a split decision win. Not a whole lot to say coming out of this one admittedly. But yeah, man. I mean, I think that's about all we got for Bellator. But we do got a bit of news to kind of close out the show. Because Floyd Mayweather really doesn't seem to like Jake Paul. I mean, Are you
sure about that, Josh?
I was wondering, admittedly, but I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure. Because they were outside of Miami Heat game. And,
I mean, that was his first mistake.
I mean, honestly, it really was. Because he fucking goes out there and if you've seen Floyd Mayweather, you know he's ready to form Voltron at all times. Alright? he's fucking strapped.
And by strapped, I mean 6 other dudes.
Yeah, exactly. He's got 6 other fucking guys with him. 60 other guys, at all fucking times. So, yeah, man. I mean,
it's not Voltron, Josh. It's called Avengers Assemble. Come on.
Oh, my bad. That one's on me, Angel. But like, for real though, I mean, I need to post that as a meme next time.
Plug into the exchange. Just that clip of Endgame with fucking Captain America saying Avengers Assemble.
That's funny, dude.
And running into the fucking combat.
That's fucking comedy, dude. Anyways, man, yeah, I mean, I think I guess we haven't even really say, but they were outside a Heat game, right? And, I guess Floyd and his entourage saw him, and they just started chasing Jake Paul. Like they were gonna fucking jump his ass. And I saw people, and Jake retreated. He did a tactical, it was not running away, it was a tactical retreat, folks. It's completely different. And he, went back inside the venue, and ended up just calling Floyd out to an actual fight. He said, I'm tough, I'm not dumb, and I'm not gonna fight 50 dudes at one time. So yeah, man, give me your thoughts on this. I think it's honestly kind of embarrassing, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think it's a little bit embarrassing for a 46-year-old man to be beefing this hard with like a 25-year-old YouTuber, but I mean, what are your thoughts?
It's comedic, man. I think it's hilarious.
I mean, it's obviously funny, but like, also a little bit sad.
It is. But it's funny, dude. I don't know. I just think it's dumb. It's silly. I mean, Floyd's gonna do what Floyd's gonna do. I'm not even surprised that there is. I mean, I'm surprised it took this long, if anything.
Well, I mean, apparently he had him kicked out of his fucking, what is it? Last time he fought in Abu Dhabi, when he fought Deji, I guess, because Jake was there for the Tommy Fury thing. Floyd apparently had him kicked out of the venue. So he's been beefing with him for a while. Yeah, he's been beefing with him for a fucking while now, man. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit sad. That's honestly all I got to say about it. I think it's a little bit sad, a little bit pathetic, but, is what it is. Speaking of Jake, we did see a report recently. This is actually not on the rundown, but I want to get your thoughts on it. Essentially saying that he is actually looking not at, Tommy Fury next. He's actually going to think about fighting Floyd next, Angel. Is that something you want to see?
Why not, man? Anything to keep me entertained.
That's where you're at?
Yeah, I mean,
even if it's like an exhibition, or do you need it to be like an actual full-blown fight?
It could be an exhibition. People can still get knocked out in an exhibition.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have no interest in any Floyd exhibitions. I'm so far done with that at that point.
I mean, he's just doing them against the right people, man.
I guess you're right. I guess you're probably right.
Exhibitions could be fun if he did them against the right people, but he's just not doing them against the right people. And it was interesting. Like when he did a whole tension thing, it was like, okay, interesting. There was a little bit of just a little something about that. And I think it'd be more if he did like an exhibition against someone like fucking Bratang. I think that'd be even better.
Well, he was originally, before he was going to fight Aaron Chalmers, he was supposed to fight Liam Harrison from One, who's a Muay Thai guy. That would have been fun.
That would have been interesting. Yeah.
Like, there's been a couple of guys that, Floyd has been fucking in talks with or just hasn't worked out. But you're probably right. I think they're relatively close to doing some fun things. But, yeah, I mean, if it's an actual fight, I'd be down. If it's an exhibition, I don't really care about it. But speaking of odd fights, exhibitions, and the like, Angel, we got fucking KSI and Floyd Mayweather maybe fighting Manny Pacquiao and Salt Poppy in a tag team boxing match. I'll admit, dude.
This is the crossover I wanted, Josh. This is a real multiverse. Fuck the Marvel multiverse. If
they're gonna do these fucking tag team boxing matches, they're gonna do some weird stuff. Cool. I'm cool with it. But let's get some real fighters in here who are actually good at combat. Let's see the idea at its full execution. Like fucking Ice Poseidon, dude, I could whoop Ice Poseidon right now fucking coming off my couch, okay?
Right?
Like let's have let's test this shit.
Granted though, those two guys were supposed to have different opponents though.
Oh really?
Yeah, originally. At least I know, if not at least one of them, because that other guy, whoever Ice Poseidon's teammate was, he did pretty good. He did his part. It was just Poseidon not being able to do his part.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, he got brutalized. Goddamn. But
yeah, second time.
Yeah, but anyways, man. I mean,
we need our boy PJ in there, dude. He's looking shredded right now.
Oh yeah, he is. Shout out Overt Flow. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm down for this. It's weird, but it's the type of weird that I'm into. So that's probably the way that I'll go ahead and phrase it. Anyways, man. More news. Also in the boxing world, Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury may be fighting, maybe not. Who knows? I mean, dude, like, if you guys have not been following this story, this is like huge, and people don't really talk about like the importance of this fight. Like, this is not just Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. The winner of this fight would be crowned the first unified, undisputed heavyweight champion in over 20 years. And Angel, I'm going to test your knowledge real quickly. Do you remember who the last one is? I guess maybe not remember because, you were like a child, but like, do you know who it is?
It's not our boy Big Mike, is it?
No.
Oh, fuck. Had it been, fuck. Dude. Damn, was it our boy, oh my god. Can I get a hint here?
They were one of the best heavyweights of the 90s.
I don't know who it could be off the top of my head.
All right, well, it's Lennox Lewis. He did it in 1999.
I mean, that's not a surprise. I was between who was the guy that Tyson bit his ear? I forgot. I'm fucking blanking here for some reason. You know when you get on the spot and you just blank?
Yeah.
My boy, you know who also I thought it was before you even said any name? I was like, was it George Foreman? fucking unit George Foreman, dude.
Fair enough.
George Foreman's a motherfucker, though, dude.
He was a motherfucker. Yeah, no, it was Lennox Lewis back in 1999. But anyways, this fight's very important. It needs to happen. And I think Tyson Fury knows it needs to happen. And he knows the type of guy Alexander Usyk is. So
it's probably the biggest match in boxing right now.
It is. Yeah, I think so. But they were talking about fighting. They've been actually talking about fighting for a long time. And the big issue is it comes down to one thing. It's just the revenue split. Usyk thinks that they're both heavyweight champions. In fact, Usyk has 4 of the 5 belts. He's got everything but the WBC, and he also has the ring heavyweight title as well. So he's got 4 of the 5, and he knows that he's not a big enough draw, but he's got 4 of the 5 belts. So he's like, all right, 50-50 down the middle. However, he's also been willing to go down to 60-40. And apparently Tyson Fury will not fight for anything less than 70-30. And Usyk said, all right, Big Belly, let's do it. Just did not give a fuck, because that's the type of guy that he is. And he agreed. And then one day after he agreed to the fight, Tyson Fury went, let's up the stakes, like let's.
That's getting pressure right there.
Let's, your bollocks, you're worried about the money, you little shit house, you little dosser, but he wants there to be no rematch clause or he won't fight him. So it's another day, another thing. I gotta admit, man, I've been like a long time Tyson Fury fan. I've never been more disappointed to see somebody outright duck another fighter. And I really
especially with the money that's on the line and the legacy implications behind this too.
Here's the big thing: is it's literally like, I mean, it's literally a duck. There's literally no explanation. There's no other fight for him. In fact, they've been able to, cause like whenever it comes to boxing, a lot of fighters will make excuses and stuff, and a little secret is a lot of those sanctioning bodies, if you work with them, they'll actually give you more time to negotiate, and they won't just go out and give you a mandatory automatically. You'll get the mandatory automatically if you're not working on anything else.
Especially because those bodies have to be paid too.
Yeah, and they make more fucking money if you're fighting fights people want to see. So a lot of the time, sanctioning bodies just get blamed for shit. That doesn't mean I don't have issues with them. I think the WBC is shit, for example. But, you know, they've been given a lot of time to negotiate by the WBC. The WBA, I think, even ordered Usyk to fight Dana Dubois at one point, and then they got an extension. And they were like, all right, never mind, we're bad. All right, you guys can keep on negotiating. So there's no reason for Tyson Fury not to take this fight. He's getting a huge percentage. He controls. They're fighting in his country, by the way. They're going to fight in Saudi Arabia, but Fury wanted it in the UK. So they're fighting at Wembley, and it's like, you're still not going to fight the fucking guy. Like, do I seriously got to see fucking Derek Chisora 4? You know what I mean? Like,
damn, Josh.
I don't know.
All we know, Josh, is right now that Usyk is DTF.
What is Usyk right now, Angel?
He's DTF. He's down to fight.
Down to fight, my guy. Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
He's DTF, dude. He's DTF as you can get to. He's fucking oiled up in DTF right now.
Damn straight, my guy. Damn straight. He's oiled up.
Oiled up in the ring with his shorts on. He's DTF, dude. He's down to fight.
Fuck yeah, man. He's DTF. He is down to fight. So, anyways, dude, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll be so fucking upset if this fight.
They have to fight, dude. They have to fight at some point. I mean, whether or not it happens is a different story. Heavyweight boxing has some movement right now, and I hope it continues. And fuck, dude, the better question is, when's Deontay gonna come back, dude? Like, it's been too long.
Deontay is in talks to fight Big Fran right now.
If it happens, yeah, I mean, I know we talked about that, but fuck, man, at least give me some.
Well, I mean, hey, this is more than just talking right now, Angel. They've apparently, like,
they're reaching a partial contract,
like to the point to where I reported this last Friday night.
Potential venue.
They're actually, so to break it down for you guys, if you guys didn't see the news, I'm surprised didn't make. It was just one small interview, so I'm surprised Ngannou even gave it away. But he pretty much talked about, like, okay, so we pretty much already verbally agreed that we want to fight each other. We're looking at a 2-fight deal. The second one to take place in Africa, more than likely in boxing, because they want to do it on the 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle, which I think would be next August, maybe.
That'd be perfect.
We don't know when the first fight would happen, but the rematch is what they're aiming for, the 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle. And apparently they're pretty deep along in negotiations. So, I mean...
That'd be pretty cool, man. I gotta say, that's pretty typical.
Because, like, dude, I admittedly don't really want to see, like, you know... I didn't really care about Ngannou versus fucking Joshua or Fury. I didn't really care. And I didn't want to see him fight any of the other guys. Because here's the reality is Ngannou, I don't know how good he is as a boxer, but, like, in heavyweight, if there's a division you're going to want to jump into and try and beat some guys, it's going to be that division, you know? But, like, does he beat Derek Chisora right now? I don't know, you know? Like, there's a very real possibility that he can lose to, like, a top 25, top 30 guy. So at this point, you might as well just throw him straight at the top guy that he has the best chance with, and that's Deontay Wilder.
And look, it's the two hardest hitters on the planet right now.
Easiest sell in the world.
The two hardest hitting combat athletes in the world right now at heavyweight.
Exactly. Like,
what else?
Fucking exactly, dude.
They're gonna spark each other out. Life-changing fucking injuries potentially on the line. These guys are putting it all on, if it does happen.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, man. Definitely. But, you know, we'll see what happens with that one. And last bit of news for the day. Been a while since we talked about this guy. Nick Diaz, back in the news again, because he said he's talking to the UFC, and he's trying to fight as soon as possible. Like, as soon as possible. It's word for word what he said.
Wait, repeat that one more time. Who's fighting again?
Nick Diaz.
What?
As soon as possible. Yes, that's what he said.
Dang.
So, you know, we'll see what happens there. I mean, admittedly,
Who could he fight? Who could he fight that would make sense right now? Who's almost 40 that he could fight right now?
I think you could do him versus Tony at 170. That's interesting. Him versus Robbie Lawler trilogy? No, that one doesn't make sense. Not next. Maybe if Nick wants to fight again after his next fight, but
Would you be down for like Matt Brown? That sounds like a big name, but
Matt Brown makes a lot of sense, admittedly.
I'd say Condit if Condit was still around too. That'd be fun. No throwback there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd actually be super fucking down for a. Well, Condit. I'm pretty sure Condit's retired. I don't think he's gonna want to come out either.
Court McGee action here.
I'm down with Court McGee. I like me some fucking Court McGee. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think he also mentioned again wanting to fight Izzy or Pereira, wanting to fight the best of the middleweight division. So for his sake, I hope he does it. But
what a guy! Could you imagine?
I know. What a fucking champ. So,
imagine if he won. Imagine the alternate reality where he wins that fight.
Right. But
God, that's a reality I want to live in. At least for one day.
Right. Anyways, man, that's about all I got for the show. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else before we close out?
No, nothing in particular right now. I'm just so excited to come back, recap, this week's of fights. And obviously next week, because next week we got what, Chito Vera versus Sandhagen? Is that who it is?
Yes it is. Yes, sir.
So a banger there. And obviously Justin Gaethje have Healthy Steve. I'm just excited to see the results, see what movement we get at 155, 185, and 170. Obviously a belt on the line to defend. And we're not even that far away from fucking seeing Izzy fight again. So
yeah.
We are going to get a week in between, though, with no card, though. Right?
I don't think so, actually. I think you're wrong on that.
No, 25th fight. We would have to wait till the 8th, so we're going to get 1 weekend with no fights in between. So that's a little scary for us, Josh.
For this month?
We're talking UFC. I don't know if there will be Bellator. Yeah, we won't get anything the 1st of next month.
Shoot, you're right. That's my bad. Well, fuck. You know what? I think we'll be fine, though. I think we can find something fun to talk about that week. I'll work on something.
We probably will. I mean, it's not, it doesn't worry me. Well, I mean, that week, Josh, I just looked at it. That week, we'll have the best card of the year. We'll have Bellator 293, Marcelo Home versus Daniel James, Kat Zingano, Leo McCourt co-main event. How could I forget, Josh?
Angel, we were trying to pull people into the show. We're trying to get people in, man. What are you doing?
Are you telling me you're not excited about like 43-year-old Daniel James making his run in Bellator?
Is that how old is he?
Dude, this man is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
For real?
I shit you not, yeah.
He's actually like 40 something?
He's 41.
So wait, Bellator is getting way too confident right now. You cannot do a random heavyweight main event with one of these guys being 40 plus. You just can't do it.
He beat Tyrell Fortune.
Well, the issue with that is that does not mean nearly as much as that would have meant a couple of years ago.
Tyrell Fortune's
only. You know what? I'll say this though. I like this card a lot though. I actually do. Adam Piccolotti is back. Raheem Cleveland, the GOAT journeyman.
Honestly, at this point, I just don't know if you're memeing or being serious.
Maria Henderson. What about Cronry Gracie, the son of Hoist, who's only 2-2? What do you think?
Lance Gibson Jr., dude, come on.
Jokes aside, there's a couple good names.
Christian Edwards, they're younger guys. Lucas Brenda.
There's some good names. There's some good names. So, I'm cool with it.
Regardless, though, we'll have to wait a few weeks for that.
Yeah. So we'll see. But, anyways, man, any thoughts before we go ahead and close out?
Nothing specifically, man. Like I said, I'm just ready to come back next week and recap everything.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm at Josh Evanoff. He's at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Sound for all things related to the show on Twitter. We are continuing to kill it on the clips, and so I'm very, very deeply appreciative of all that, and I know that Angel is as well. So thank you, everybody. And yeah, that's all we got. So peace and butt grease. Mouse click.